Hey guys, I'm Morthadon and we are back for My Hero Academia Season 6, Episode 2. So, last episode was great. There was one thing that I forgot to talk about in the discussion that I remember reading it and I just overlooked it because I was so hyped about watching Mirko just go in and kick some butt. But the scientist guy, what we got his name, right? Kyudai Garaki. He mentioned how he is able to copy quirks, and it takes a lot of work, which is why he didn't want to give up the laboratory and everything. So that kind of explains a lot as to how, some of these quirks we've seen multiple times. It's not just that they stole multiple of them, it also makes sense as to how he's creating Nomus without having All for One around. We still don't know the process in which he copies a quirk. He's doing all this out of a hospital, so can he just take a blood sample and from there, if a patient comes into his hospital, they get a blood sample, can he then take that blood sample and take the quirk and copy it? Or is it more involved than that or whatnot? But, I mean, obviously, I think it still takes time, but can it be as simple as blood or, and also can he steal quirks from people like All for One could? Or can he just take some DNA and copy kind of thing? But either way, it's I'll try to remember to talk more about this in the discussion because there's a lot of different ways that it could go, and maybe we'll learn more as we watch the show. So, but the heroes have raided two different areas, and so one of them is the compound that they work out of, right? And then the other one's the hospital for the doctor and everything. The kids are there for logistical support and everything, but with all these Nomus going everywhere, I imagine they might get involved. So I'm just really excited to get back into it and see what goes on, because last episode was hype. Mirko was awesome. I've been waiting to see what this bunny girl can do since she showed up. I think the first time we saw her we saw a glimpse of her in the ED for season 4, I think. But I don't think we actually saw her until the end of season 4 with the hero billboard charts, and she was up there on the stage. I think that was the first time we ever saw her, but we never really seen her in action, and she's pretty damn strong and badass. So I just look forward to continuing on with this raid and seeing how it goes. So let's get started, shall we, guys? All right, we're gonna start here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Evil. Yeah. The Paranormal Liberation Front. Yep. Quite a bit of recap, but it's fine. They're probably trying to make sure that everyone who's watching that maybe didn't watch the first episode know what's going on. I don't know. It's a little extreme. I didn't realize the washing machine is in this fight, too. I want to know what the washing machine can do. Mirko. So crazy. That move is just insane. Poor little Johnny. Dead. Please don't. Please don't get hurt. Mirko's awesome, but I'm scared. Everything's going so well for her. Jeez. Oh my god. Well, shit. Yeah, I'm really worried since everything's going so well for the heroes so far. Like, I thought the turning point was gonna be when it was the Twice clone that, when Kyodai disappeared because of that, but that didn't seem to matter too much because they already had Mirko going on ahead, so I still feel like there's room for something to go wrong somewhere. And Mirko's so cool already, I don't want to lose her. But, I mean, it's possible we just have a really strong win here, but it's still not the end, right? I also, when I was rewatching this opening, trying to find, like, an image to use for the thumbnail, I realized there's a little bit of spoiler, maybe, but I guess we still don't know the context. The red and black stuff shooting around Midoriya that he dodges is the quirk activation that All For One has. Ugh. Some shit. Strong looking Nomu. Oh, no one's that kick. Oh, no! No, why does her name have to be in the title? I'm so worried. She's the number 5 hero. I couldn't remember where she stood in the rankings, but that was in the episode title. Jeez. So chaotic. I couldn't, I guess it sounds like they're saying. I kept saying Mirko, but they keep saying Mirko, I think, is how they're saying it. I usually try to mimic how I hear the voice actors say it. Jeez. Just evaporated. Eraserhead's so useful. Okay, so they're out here on the streets. Alright. So they gotta start evacuating the homes. Bakugo. Oh no, they're gonna think he's a villain. This is one of the other top 10, right? We have no... I don't think we have any idea of what his quirk is. Maybe we do. Shield. Okay. Is he able to use them offensively? Can he, like, stab with the tip of the shield or something like that? Okay. Uh-oh. What is this little guy? Oh. He has a copy of Double's quirk, or Twice's quirk. I read Double and... Oh, shit. Letting some of the strong ones out. Oh, shit. Oh. Come on, Mirko. Ugh. Yep, like the one that Endeavor fought. He took a couple of the quirks. Maybe some of the more important ones. Oh, shit. What a badass. Oh, cool. Hey, Denki getting himself in that... Getting that screen. That commercial. Whatever it's called. Oh, geez. Interesting. So they're from corpses. Hmm. Gonna try to speed up Shigaraki. So she can hear from a decent distance, it seems like. Damn. Alright. Rabbit. I knew I was gonna say that. She can do rabbit-like things better than a rabbit. Never thought of rabbit as being a superpower that's badass. It's all about how you use it, though. For the most part. Shit. Ugh, that one's like an elephant. Her arms are... Oh, maybe not. Damn. Do they have regeneration? Ugh. Oh! Oh, what is that quirk? Just like some kind of telekinesis? Is that true, though? Oh, jeez. Oh! Good God. Just ripped his head off. God, her arm's fucked. So that one dead? Ugh. Damn. Okay, so this is the rear guard. They're supposed to be going on at the same time, right? So I'm guessing this is jumping back in time to when they're first starting. I think. Yep. Have faith in your classmate. Was he in the halfway screen because we're going to see him do some shit? Kaminari, that is. Well, you're with a whole bunch of people, so... Come on, Kaminari, you got this. Hmm. Alright, Cementos. Hmm. Oh, well, they just get the message as soon as this happens. Damn. She's just gonna take down the wall. Who are you? Flip the switch. Oh. Is he another electric type? You know, face off against Kaminari. Bunch of League of Villains are here. Or, well, they're all the same group now, but... Attack to protect. Jeez. Oh. Of course you think of her. Protect her. Make sure that no one gets out. Does he need like a source of lightning before he can manipulate it or something? Uh, can you absorb it, Kaminari? Yes! Oh! Go, my boy! Nice. You say run. Wait, no, actually, is this? Actually, it might not be. It's the, Just Another Hero. I don't know the name of it. Not You Say Run, my bad. Oh, yes. I believe, anyway. I'm really bad at hearing songs, but either way. Awesome track. Cool. Oh shit! It's over already! Great episode. Oh man. I definitely can, since they're giving us so much action, like, back to back in these episodes, I can understand why they probably did the extensive recap in the beginning, you know, because trying to do consistent episodes like these while still maintaining some pretty good animation and everything in the fights can be harder, right? And obviously, the less recap they do, the more they have to try to squeeze in the episode and everything. So I'm fine with it. Yeah, really, like, this episode had so much fighting that there's a few things to talk about for sure, in regards to like the Nomus and everything, but other than that, it was just like enjoyable to watch. Alrighty, guys, that is it for episode 2 of season 6. So, yeah, we have the title was for Mirko, number 5 hero. Mirko, I think is how you're supposed to say it. I keep saying Mirko because I look at how it's spelt and just assume, right? But it sounds like they say Mirko, but yeah, her going in and she's up against some high ends, and she just assuming that one doesn't like heal, right? It's so hard to tell because we don't know which ones can heal from what. Like, we've seen the head of one get ripped off before, right? The high end that attacked Endeavor ripped his head off and then regenerated from the head all the way down. But maybe not every high end is equipped with the regeneration quirk, and maybe she did more damage to the head, which made it so it couldn't regenerate from that. But I feel like some of them must have some level of regeneration, because I'm pretty sure she kicked like giant chunks out of the heads of 2 of them, and then we saw them after, and they didn't have those chunks taken out anymore. So she, like she said, like wasn't deep enough, and they were able to heal from it. So, but yeah, that one that she took down had some kind of like telekinesis kind of power that I don't know how it worked, but it just like started twisting her arm to shit. So one of her arms is messed up. I guess fortunately it's her arm, where it seems like most of her strength is in her legs, so she can continue on, but not without any injury. I will say they definitely dealt with that, but basically it sounds like Giriko was saying that there's no more quirks he has, no more Nomos available that can get him out of there. So there's no means of escaping now. So it looked like he was doing some shit with where Shigaraki is. So maybe he has to like speed up the process. This is kind of like one of the things that I thought of, because I mean, as I talked about last discussion, obviously Shigaraki doesn't just die here from getting released from a tank early or something. So maybe what happens is Shigaraki's growth doesn't finish, and that could be a caveat for like the entire show. Maybe if they wanted to go that route, they could be like, you know, he might be like almost unbeatable, but because he got interrupted in that tank a month early, I believe they said, right? I think done in a month. Yeah, I wrote that down last episode. Since he's getting taken out a month early, or they're like speeding it up to finish it a month early, maybe he won't be all powerful kind of thing, and he has that little bit of weakness, which is enough for our heroes to eventually overcome and beat. Not like within the couple episodes kind of thing, but in like the distant future. Like maybe this 1 month is a difference of like assuming he gets All for One's power to be able to absorb quirks. I talked about how like in the movie they gave part of All for One's power to 9, which only allowed him to absorb 9 quirks. Maybe because he's getting released early, he can only absorb 20 quirks versus as many as he wants, or something like that. You know, like, who knows? But that this could be a point where, because they do this raid, it stops Shigaraki from becoming a god, basically. But who knows? But even with All for One being able to take on as many quirks as he wants, he still was defeated. So, but regardless, pretty crazy there. I do wonder the effects of him, you know, assuming that's what he's doing is speeding it up to get him out early kind of thing. But we'll just have to wait and see. Kind of cool that I mean, because obviously I want to see all of our kids going in and fighting these villains. It was cool seeing Kaminari go in, but we have the other kids near the hospital evacuating people from their homes and everything. But as much as I want to see our kids go in and fight, I understand the story perspective of keeping them on the outskirts and handling the logistics where they can be there if they need them, but it's not directly putting the kids in immediate danger kind of thing by sending them straight in the front. So I definitely like it from a story perspective that they're not going right in, because I'd be a little mad. Like, I was already pretty mad at the government of this world where they're like, we need more fighters, so let's get these kids involved, right? And that was kind of like one of the plot lines of last season, getting them into the work studies again and everything. It's just them being like, we need more manpower, so let's get the kids. Kind of messed up. But from a viewer standpoint of like, oh, I want to see Midoriya and Bakugo and Todoroki kick some ass and everything, I am a little sad that they're stuck like evacuating people. But I do have a feeling that either, I mean, I guess it is possible that we wrap the heroes, the pro heroes, wrap this up, and the kids don't get involved. It is very much a possibility, but it's also possible that some of these Nomu get out into streets and we have to, the kids have to fight them. But we saw the Shield hero, which is interesting. It reminds me, his outfit, I believe they said something about Shield. Like, because when I saw him, I thought Shield, but I didn't want to be wrong, so I didn't say it. That's when I was saying, like, we don't really know about his quirk, right? But, like, the first thing I thought of was Shield when I saw him. I think they mentioned something during the Billboard chart stuff about him, but I can't remember exactly, like, the wording they used. But it was really interesting having him be a top 10 hero, because obviously you can like smack people with it, and like I said, it looked like they're like little almost like diamond kind of shapes, and it seems like he can make them like bigger or smaller. So like, can he make one go to a point and like stab with it? Because like, basically my point is like, that's great for defense, but how does he manage to do enough offense to be in the top 10 heroes, right? Like, how does he fight people off with just shields? Now, I love the concept, especially him. Like, okay, so one of my big things when it comes to like video games and everything is there's not a lot of games that do it, but the ability to dual wield shields, I've always felt like, in having some way that you can fight, whether you do like Captain America like throws or something like that, or whatever it may be. I've always loved the idea of dual wield shields. It's just so wacky and crazy, but at the same time, it's like something that I love. But yeah, I guess seeing him do that just revived that urge for me. But not a lot of games do it, unfortunately. So, and I mean, it makes sense why you don't. It is very like comical kind of thing to have someone dual wielding shields, but either way, yeah, I'm interested to learn more about him as well. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. So they had a Nomu with twice his quirk, so I mean, it makes sense that so I guess that definitely proves that they don't have to remove the quirk from someone in order to duplicate it, right? It's not like they remove the quirk from the individual and then they are able to duplicate it and then they can give it to like two Nomus or something like that kind of thing. It's something where they can somehow take some of the quirk factor or whatever and duplicate it and then give it away kind of thing. And it would make sense that you do it with twice his quirk, because twice his quirk is just insane. Like, we saw like the Sad Man's Parade and stuff like that, that whole sequence that he was doing last season was ridiculous. So definitely makes sense that they did that. And the Nomu, he said it acted on its own without orders to protect him. So apparently some of these Nomus have just the slightest bit of agency in them, even though they're not like the high-end ones, right? They also mentioned that Nomus are created starting from corpses, which is interesting because we've always known that they start as like we had the first Nomu that attacked the USJ, and they figured out like whose its base was, like they had a picture of the guy and everything, and I always assume that they take like living people, they put a bunch of quirks in them until they stop basically like it, because they have so many quirks it messes with their brain function and stuff like that and makes them more malleable and controllable kind of thing. But it more seems here that they start, I mean, he said it, that they're corpses, so it starts with a dead person, which I guess that feeds into what we had last season with Aizawa and Present Mike's friend, where they used his corpse, and I was like, back then I was thinking, oh, you can use a corpse to do it, because I assumed it had to be a living thing. Like, I thought they were turning what was it? What was her name? Oh, I can't remember. The Wild Pussycats, the girl that had the search ability and All for One took her quirk. I assumed, and she was in that like facility where they were creating Nomus. I assumed, or at least storing them. I don't know if that's where they were creating them, but I guess they were probably creating them in this hospital. But either way, back then, without as much knowledge, I thought they were turning her into one, but she was still alive. So I guess maybe they were gonna, and they didn't even start yet, or maybe they just weren't even gonna do that. Maybe they're just gonna dispose of her eventually. But yeah, interesting having them come from corpses. And it takes, was it? I kind of want to go back and read the line again. Where was that? Where he was talking about? Is this it right here? Hold on. Currently, we just barely have 5 in the testing stage, including woman. That was also something interesting that I just didn't really pick up on. Why did he specifically mention woman as like? And there's also only 4 here, right? Yeah, so it seems like there's one more high end out there called woman. I'm trying to think of like why just woman? Why not give it more of a name than woman? What could that mean? I don't really know, but let's see. I'm trying to find where he says that it takes like 3 months to bind a quirk to the I might have gone past it. Yeah, I think I went past it because he's talking about his masterpiece and everything. Okay, let's jump back. Artificially moving quirks is an involved surgery, and on top of that, it takes over 3 months for the quirk to stick. Interesting, okay. Over 3, yeah, so I guess I'm kind of glad that they established that it is harder to produce like high-end Nomus and everything without All for One's power. I'm glad that it like was easier before kind of thing. So I was thinking like, oh, like that makes All for One kind of less important if the scientist is just able to do pretty much everything. I mean, All for One's still overpowered as hell and everything. As an individual, but I was thinking like, oh, for creating Nomus and everything, if the scientist is just able to do it without All for One, then that's not, it like lessens the scariness of All for One a bit. But if All for One is able to bypass that like 3 months for quirk to stick kind of thing, and the question is I guess they didn't. I was hoping maybe by rereading what it said here, I'd be able to have a little more context. I'm not sure if what he means is it takes 3 months for a single quirk to stick in a high end. So like if he wanted to put 4 quirks in a high end, would that take a year? Right? Or oh, my nose is itchy. I apologize, guys. Or would it be 3 months to stick all 4 quirks? Like, can he start the sticking of a quirk process all at once, or is it only one at a time you can do it? I'm not sure, but either way, 3 months is a significant time frame, especially if they only have like 5 made. We have Mirko fighting, seemingly killed one of them, which means there's only 4 left. So if anything, even if we don't catch them all here, it's going to be a massive setback. But we also did have Giriko running, carrying 2 of the copied quirks that he has. So if he gets away, then he'll be able to maybe start again. And I'm trying to think of the 2 quirks that I think he'd take. Obviously, I think he'd take all for ones, right? And then maybe the regeneration one, because I feel like the regeneration one is almost like necessary when you're creating Nomu, because I feel like, I mean, unless they can make a Nomu that is so very intellectual that it's able to fight as if it was like because like pretty much all the Nomus we've had so far, they just take damage and regenerate from it. They don't fight in a way that like tries to preserve their own life, kind of, right? So like unless they start fighting in a way like the heroes do, where they're not going to let themselves die so easily, kind of thing, you know, I feel like that's something that maybe they'd have to do in order to keep these high ends around longer. Either that or just keep giving them the super regeneration, so that way they can take as many hits as they want, assume as long as like their heads don't get obliterated, kind of thing. But yeah, very interesting. I'm curious. I definitely think that All for One's quirk is a guaranteed that he took. Like that's one that you wouldn't want to lose. Granted, All for One is still out there, so, and also I wonder if he puts even just some of All for One's quirk inside of Tomura Shigaraki, does that mean that Tomura, they could then take that quirk from Tomura and duplicate it more, kind of thing, to its full effect? Like, I guess my main question is, if 9 was to get if they were to take 9, who is only able to use 9 quirks from All for One's ability, if they took him and took some of his blood or whatever method they use to copy quirks, could they get the full All for One power from 9? Or since 9 is only able to use like 9 quirks, can they only pull that much power out? I don't know. It's like a lot of little like logistical things that I'm not sure of, but yeah. Oh my god, my nose itchiness is ridiculous right now. I need to. It must be like some nose hair or something. My mustache hairs, sometimes they'll curl up and they just like never settle, and they just tickle my nose. I'll have to go check that out after I'm done recording this. But yeah, really all I have left to say is I like the second part of the episode where we had or at least like towards the end, where we had like the other raid that's going on. We had this lightning guy going in, and you know, obviously some of these kids are a lot more better at going into these dangerous situations, but it makes sense that a kid would be scared. Like, obviously it is a little bit like, oh, come on, Kaminari, like, man up. In a way, I understand anyone that would think that way, but these kids are only in high school and they're asked to run into these like extremely dangerous situations sometimes. And but I like that the teacher was like, if you can't think of like protecting just anyone, I can't remember exactly the way she worded it, but just focus on like the ones closer to you, kind of thing. I can't remember the way she worded it, but however she worded it, it made Denki think of Jiro back there, and I mean, we didn't actually get any dialogue there as to what he was thinking, but I can only imagine he was like, you know, if I don't do a good job here, it's possible the villains escape and get out there. And I mean, Jiro's very strong. She has her tricks, but she's also mainly reconnaissance, right? And not as much like the brute force fighter. So I like that. I like that he stopped and thought about that, and I like Tokoyami coming in and I mean, granted, Denki kind of took it the wrong way, but saying you're amazing yourself and everything, and showing that he does care about all of his friends and classmates and everything, and it was perfect for him that they basically had the same idea where they have this lightning guy for a wide range attack in case any heroes show up, and they could take out a bunch of them, and Denki just absorbed it all. So I wonder if that's all Denki's gonna be able to do. Like, does him taking in lightning, does that fry him at all, or does that just like power him up kind of thing, or is it just completely neutralized? I'm not sure, but yeah. Also, I do like that idea of attack to protect is another thing the teachers said. Like, if we don't attack them now, they will die and do whatever they need to do to accomplish their goals and mission and everything. So if we don't stop them here, then they're going to get out there in the world and hurt someone else. So if you're not sure about attacking these people who haven't really done anything yet, you know, don't forget they will do something if we let them get free. So I like that little concept there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. Like, basically my point was, for the previous statement of like, will Kaminari still be able to do stuff? His like mission was to go in there and do basically what that guy was doing, is fire off a big blast, and that way it like CCs a bunch of people all at once. I wonder if he will still be able to do that, or if this will be his fulfilling task here, is stopping that. But yeah, anyways, very good episode, guys. Once again, I was really excited to watch this episode, and now I'm really excited for the next one, and I have to wait a week. Oh, man, if, like, this is the kind of thing where if this was out already, like if the whole season was out, I would probably be recording more just for the sake of me, because I want to watch more. But sometimes I do like having the week in between, because it gives me time to stop and think about what I saw. And, you know, like I just got done binging Bleach, because the Bleach is starting in a couple days as well. So a few weeks ago, I started really like going through like 20 plus episodes a day, and a lot of the arcs aren't as impactful for me as they were like the first time I watched, because the first time I watched it was a lot slower than this. Although I'm pretty sure I did binge back then too, because I didn't watch Bleach until it was already over. I didn't watch it while it was airing, but I don't think I nearly watched as much as I did here. So it's like, I like Bleach, but I binged through it all in like a week or so, a week or two. And now it's like, oh, well, what now? Like, now it's over. Granted, we do have another arc coming soon. I'm excited for that, but yeah. I feel like sometimes it's just more impactful sitting with a show for, you know, a 12 episode show for like 3 months, and really getting into the characters and everything again. So either way, that's going to be it for me, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you did. Check out my Patreon if you want to see more from me. Since this is an airing show, I watch it as it airs rather than doing any early access or anything. But I have early access for some of my other shows, as well as my Patreon exclusives, where you can see Mob Psycho Season 3 as one of those. Season 2 is on there as well. Tribe 9 is on there. Lucifer is on there. And I just started Better Call Saul as well. All kinds of unique content for you guys to watch if you want to support the channel and get some extra stuff. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you in my future reactions. Bye bye.